Hey guys, thought I would chime in on Scream Factory's release of Nightbreed. There's been a lot of comments, discussions on YouTube, on forums, on websites, speculations, etc., etc., etc. We're finally getting some actual information. We're getting, list of what the extras and stuff actually are, what's being done, etc., etc. But there's still a lot of disappointment, I guess, from some fans. And the question is it justified? Should fans be disappointed in this release? There are many, I see it time and time again, be it comments on the YouTube videos, comments on posts on websites, in forums and such. And I think there's four main things that I see more often than not. And I'd like to maybe go over them now and see if they're justified. The first beef people seem to have is that the release is a limited edition. Just the fact that it's a limited edition. Now, and I've seen it. I've seen posters post. They should just print as many as they possibly can. Why would you make a limited edition? Now, first off, Scream Factory is releasing two different versions. There's the limited edition and then the regular edition. The regular edition, which is the director's cut, will be generally mass produced. But as a horror fan, and you think about it, a lot of the titles we want are only available in limited editions, be it 1,000 or 3,000 copies, from Code Red or Scorpion releasing. You name it. Limited editions are a pretty standard thing for us, even in DVDs. Anchor Bay puts them out, whatever. Blue Underground, everybody does limited editions. You shouldn't be upset about limited editions, especially not when the company's giving you the choice. If they only released Nightbreed limited edition, then I could see some hesitation, some reason to be a little bit upset, but they are giving you the option of having the Nightbreed limited edition or the non-limited edition. Also, because of the, now I'm not in the industry in that portion, but essentially the deal they've struck to be able to put out this limited edition only allows them to do so many. Similar to Twilight Time, who, can only put out 3,000 copies of their movies. They've, signed a contract. These aren't their own movies. They don't own their own movies. Like these movies, they don't own them. They're essentially renting them. They're doing licensing from another company, and the other company and the contract they've struck up said you can produce this many copies of your release, and then if you want to produce more or anything like that, then we'd have to do a new contract and such, if we allow you at all. Now, I don't know the reason for it. I don't know if it's from the people who own it, if that's where it's coming from, or if it's a matter of cost. Maybe, the people putting out these releases don't think, it costs too much to do a full-on rights purchase. I don't know. I'm guessing that's what it is. I mean, I can only assume that to purchase the rights to Nightbreed would be pretty expensive, but who knows? I mean, you look at all the other Scream Factory releases, they're putting out a whole bunch, and they're on mass produced. So I don't know. I don't know that portion of it. So I can only guess that there is a limitation somewhere, be it cost or be it permission. The next thing up is that fact that it's only limited to 5,000 copies. Actually, when I read that, I was like, wow, that's actually pretty high. I'm guessing I'm getting used to the Twilight Time releases of 3,000 copies or the Code Red and such releases of 1,000 copies. I think gone are the days of seeing a limited edition release of 30,000 copies or 100,000 copies or 300,000 copies. Yes, back in the days of DVD, 300,000 copies was considered a limited edition. I guess they figured it was available for a limited time or something. I don't know. But when you look at it compared to the 1,000 pressings and stuff like that, if you get of some releases these days, wow. I mean, there's stuff out there that they only do 100. 100 copies of certain releases, and that's it. Be it for festivals or conventions and stuff. Now, those are limited editions. So the fact that it was only limited to 5,000, I was surprised at first, not because it was so low, but because it was so high. They've raised it to 10. They've managed to, I guess, go back to the powers that be and say, guys, can we raise this up to 10,000? You know, probably some money had to be exchanged, new contracts written or something, I don't know. It's now up to 10,000. If that's still not enough for you, if you think, oh my god, they should have just mass produced it, I think you're insane. You don't know what you're talking about. It just doesn't work that way. The fourth one that's out there, and I think it's somewhat legitimate, but not really. Beef about this release, the director's cut is not the Cabal cut. And I think fans have, because the Cabal cut was touring around and being shown at festivals and indie theaters and art houses, etc., etc., etc. And people, you know, as soon as they heard about this Cabal cut, they wanted to see it. Now, now we need to go into the history of Nightbreed. When Clive Barker shot Nightbreed based off of his book Cabal, it was quite long, and the studio cut it up considerably and removed a lot of it to release the Nightbreed film that we see, or have seen. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. And so there was a group, I think it was Occupy Midian, maybe, I think was what they used as their moniker. I don't know. I think that's what it was called. But maybe it wasn't even them. Maybe they were just the drive behind it. But I do know that was bantied around, and there was mention of that Occupy Midian movement to try and get the original cut that Clive Barker had done together so that fans could see it. So that, you know, we didn't have that studio butchered cut. We have Clive Barker's original cut. And they managed to find footage and such, and the Cabal cut was 144 minutes, roughly, I think. So it added in some footage. Now, the director's cut of the film is all that and more. Now, they don't have exactly the same as the Cabal cut, because there are some elements that, for whatever reason, be it weren't good enough quality, were damaged, were not, I guess they couldn't find it or whatever, or, you know, it just didn't like the way it fit in the film. They haven't used all of it, but they've used most of it. Plus additional stuff that they managed to find, additional original materials that you know, Clive Barker had shot, and Clive Barker, that's why this is the director's cut. This is what Clive Barker, from all of the stuff that they've managed to find, and essentially Clive Barker has already said he didn't expect them to find all of this stuff. He thought it was lost and gone. So when they found what they did, including, you know, what was from the Cabal cut, and plus the extras, you know, whatever in the vaults and the boxes and stuff, they managed to find. He's put, you know, his stamp of approval. This is my director's cut. This is what, though it probably isn't the exact same film that he original cut and then the studio's butchered, in all likelihood, considering the amount of time that's passed and what was available to them. I don't know that they found everything. But they found as much as they possibly could. And so this is as close to his original vision for this film. So the fact that it's not the Cabal cut, you know what? It's actually better that it's not the Cabal cut, but it would have still been nice to have been able to see the Cabal cut, because we've been, you know, ever since we heard about it, we wanted to see it. Whatever. I mean, as a person producing a release, do I want to go, okay, I've got this movie, I've got a better version than this version that everybody wanted to see, do I include this version that everybody wanted to see even though I've got the better version? You know what, when you look at the dollars and cents of it, you go, no, I'm not going to use that. The amount of time and work and effort to put that out there is not worth it. So yes, it's not the Cabal cut. Does it suck that we don't get to see the Cabal cut? A little bit. Am I okay with that? Yes. Why? Because I'm getting the even better director's cut. Essentially. And finally, we get down to price. A lot of people have a problem with the price for the limited edition because it's $80. And I know Aaron Pinn had mentioned, he was like, Shout Factory, you've shot yourself in the foot with this one. $80 is just too much. And so I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, $80 is pretty pricey. But let's break it down. The regular director's cut release, so you don't have to pay the $80. The $80 gets you essentially a different version of the same film, plus some other extras. You don't have to pay that if you just want this best copy version of Nightbreed ever. That's $24 is standard Scream Factory pricing. So if you take the 24 off of the 80, I'll say 25, so you're left with what, $55 to cover for this limited edition. What does this limited edition get you that you don't get elsewhere? Well, it gets you that, essentially the reason why it's limited, you get that original version of Nightbreed. Now, the fact that you've got the director's cut, the only people who should really want this original are collectors, right? So it's geared towards the collectors, the completists. Somebody like myself who goes, you know what? Yeah, I kind of want that original cut. Now, that original copy, that original version, is available on DVD. So if you want to buy Scream Factory's $25 and that DVD, and you're okay with that, awesome. You've essentially got both movies. You didn't have to pay the $80 price tag. Be happy, right? If that's the only reason. If you want that on Blu-ray, then you have to get the limited edition. Is that worth $50? No. To do that, Twilight Time is $30. So we got $50, $55 left. Take away the $35. So we got $25 more than what I guess technically we're saying it should cost. So $25. That seems like a bit much. And at first I was thinking, you know what? Yeah, I'd say it's at least $15 too much. When it first came out, I was like, if I take the price of Scream Factory's regular price plus a Twilight Time release, then you're like, okay, they're not recycling art. So it's new art for each disc, so they've had to pay for that. So it is like a regular release. Now, Twilight Time, they're very bare bones in terms of what they do. They just take a transfer, that's existing, or they take film thing and do their own transfer. And so they don't do a lot with it. They don't do a lot of restoration. They don't do a lot of, digging through stuff and picking up special features and such like that. So, they do an isolated music track, which is awesome, but it's very rare that you find trailers or TV spots or radio spots, even though those should be the most basic of things to add on. There are a few, but sometimes, new commentary track, sometimes new featurettes, interviews, sometimes, not often. So they don't really do a lot of that. So your $30 doesn't get you a huge bonus featured disc. Now, the director's cut is going to have a whole bunch of, added features on it. I don't know that the original cut will have any special features that were on the, DVD or anything like that. Or, yeah, it's hard to say, but the unrated cut is going to be this. I'm guessing the director's cut is going to be the same disc in both releases, so they should have the same extras. But there is a third disc in the limited edition that has a ton of extra, like extra stuff. So this is added things that they're not including in their regular release. So, yeah, a few extra dollars. A lot of people are thinking, well, Arrow, they do these kind of things and they're not that pricey. They go out and get more footage and more stuff. Sure, yeah. They get stuff to beef up their extras, as does Scream Factory. A lot of these people, when they're putting these out, they realize the collectors are really into these things, so what they're looking for is for that added bonus. So this limited edition has an entire Blu-ray disc dedicated to extra stuff. Not just added on to the original Blu-ray, an entire Blu-ray of extra stuff. On top of that, it's got a collector's book with essays and rare photos and whatnot. I don't know. Obviously, that doesn't warrant the $25 price tag. I don't even know that I would add $5. I wouldn't even add any money for that. I would say that added in is just an added bonus. That's, you know, that's what you would get from an Arrow releasing and stuff like that. If you look at this and compared to a Criterion release, they're pricey. They're very, very pricey, and they don't have nearly as much stuff on them as this is going to have. Not nearly as much. This is above and beyond a Criterion release. So if you're willing to pay a lot for a Criterion release, you should be willing to pay a lot for this. Taking a look at another film, Possession, from, is it Tufan? Limited to 2,000 copies, guys. So not even the 5,000, not the 10,000, only 2,000 copies. This contains 2 discs. So it's got a disc of feature film with a ton of extras, 4 hours of extras, but they include in those extras the audio commentaries and stuff, so they add up. And the second disc is the soundtrack. So you're getting a CD and the Blu-ray and a bunch of added, you know, paperwork and stuff. The price tag on the Possession limited edition, $65. That $80 isn't seeming so far away, is it? Now keep this in mind. That director's cut that they've put together, that's going beyond what they've even done for their regular releases that they have. Don't forget, they're pulling out footage, they're editing, they're making an entire new movie. They've got somebody in there that they're paying to redo this movie. And I'm actually surprised that the regular edition isn't more expensive. I would have figured it probably starting off at $40. Had they started off at $40 and then it come down to about, you know, the $25 range eventually, that's kind of what I would have expected with the amount of work they're putting into making this movie, you know, this director's cut. But that's not the case. So the fact that they're giving it to you for $25, that's an actual, I would say that is a bonus. The people getting it for the $25 for the regular release, you're getting a deal. You're actually getting a very good deal. The limited edition, $65 for Possession, and all it is a Blu-ray and a CD. That's only an extra $15 comparative. So for that $15, let's compare. For the $15, you are getting another version of the film, and instead of a CD, you're getting a Blu-ray full of extras. I don't know. The $80 is starting to seem almost worth it. Is it pricey? Yes, it's only one movie. But if you order it from other places, you can get it cheaper. So if the $80 price tag is what's holding you back, yeah, look around. I'm sure somebody else is selling it. Is $80 a lot of money for a single movie? Yes. I thought $65 for the Possession release was a little bit pricey. But the more and more I look around, it seems like if you want these limited releases, if you want these much sought after releases, prices start at $30 and they go up from there. And you know what? Having the fact that I grew up in the DVD release boom, they had pricey releases too. So this isn't uncommon. This isn't uncommon. To somebody like Aaron Pinn, who says, you know, Scream Factory has shot themselves in the foot with this one. They're going to get a bad rap. People, you know, probably aren't going to buy it, etc., etc., etc. Well, you know what? The reason why Scream Factory upgraded from 5,000 to 10,000 was they sold out of their 1,000 original, you know, copies that they were giving away a poster to. Like that. The demand was there. I'm sure that, you know, the other retailers are out there who have asked for it to sell it and such. They've put their orders in. They know how many, when you add those together, what they're getting through their website, what Amazon, what, you know, all the different online retailers and local retailers and all the different places in North America are looking for. It quickly adds up for them. It's not like something like Twilight Time, where you can only buy it from ScreenArchives.com, and a lot of people don't know about the Twilight Time label, let alone the fact that these movies are available on Blu-ray. A lot of people, their Blu-ray buying is only at Best Buys and Future Shops and Targets and Walmarts and fries and whatever. So for them, they only know about the the big blockbusters or things. The fact that Scream Factory gets into these places, then they start, that's why Scream Factory has such a following. They have face time with people. People who are still shopping in these stores and not just buying online see Scream Factory. They know the Scream Factory name, so they follow Scream Factory, so they know that there's things. So the demand is actually greater than the Code Reds and the Scorpion releasings, etc., etc., etc. And seeing as how the big major guys, the Warner Brothers, Paramounts, Sonys, etc., they seem to not be wanting to release their catalog titles on Blu-ray. It's almost like they've written off the format altogether. Somebody else has got to come up and do something about it. And that's why Scream Factory is here. So as much as I don't want to spend $80 on this release, and I'm tempted to just buy the $25 release. See, I don't even care about the posters they give you with them. I don't even want those, really. They'll just sit in a drawer or something. But I really want that. I want the R-rated version on Blu-ray. I'm not going to lie. I'm one of those guys who wants the R-rated version on Blu-ray. I want the Nightbreed that I grew up with on Blu-ray. So the only way for me to get it is with this $80 thing. But I also want this extra Blu-ray of extra goodies. I'm Laserdisc. Well, hey, Full Moon started on VHS, giving you the Full Moon video zones, which were extras that they, behind the scenes and stuff like that. So they were doing extras before anybody else was doing it. Laserdisc came around and boom, we had commentary tracks. We had all sorts of different audio tracks. We had, special features and stuff. Laserdisc started this. The introduction of digital started the extra features. DVD exploded it like nothing before. Blu-ray, it's there, but it's almost like some of the studios is kind of, considering how lame some of the extras are, even though there was a lot of DVD releases where the extras were kind of lame, if they gave you anything at all. It seems like they don't care. They don't care about the format. And the reasons for that are another discussion for another time. But for those of us who are Blu-tubers, those of us who are into Blu-rays, those of us who are collectors, that $80 release, that's what we're going to get. And it's likely what I'm going to end up getting. Even though I think it's a little bit overpriced, I look at that Possession release at $65 and go, I want to get that. And if I get that one, then I got to get the $80 release of this movie. Because I can't, how do you justify it? I paid $65 for this. This has a hell of a lot more. And it's $80, but I know. It's a lot of money, and that's probably the biggest reason why people will not get it. It's not the fact that it's a limited edition. It's not the fact that it's limited to only 5,000 or now 10,000. And it's not the fact that the Cabal cut is not included or doesn't exist or isn't even mentioned. It's the price. And yes, to some of us, $80 is a lot of money. To others, it is not. $80 is, they spend that on lunch. I wish I was one of those people, but I'm not. But you know what? For all of those who don't have the $80, don't feel bad. Don't feel that Scream Factory is out to get you, that they've done you a wrong. They've given you the best version of Nightbreed possible in both Blu-ray and DVD format for the regular $25. You are getting what you need for $25. And remember, it's not always about what you want, because even if it was, you can't always get what you want. There's a song about that. You know it. Don't tell me you don't. You know it. So, with that in mind, I've gone on long enough. Is the $80 justified for this release? Unfortunately, I kind of think it is. Where the problem comes from is the fact that they are releasing the other version at the regular $25. Had they put that out at $40 and said the amount of work we're putting into this movie goes beyond anything we've done before, and thus we had to increase the price for it, everybody would have went, oh my god, this is awesome, $40, I get this movie. Oh, for an extra $40, I get essentially an additional two Blu-ray disc set. Hey, That's awesome. Now the DVD people, you're left out. You only have one version that you can get. You can only get the new version. But like I said, the 1990 R-rated theatrical version is available on DVD right now for dirt cheap. So you get what you want. I guess you can get what you want. Damn you DVD people. Damn you. Why do you have to be able to get what you want? If only you cared about quality. Who am I to say? There are a lot of people who do not have giganto-sized televisions or projectors. Hey, if you have a small, if you had my monitor, my computer monitor here, which is a much larger than my old computer monitor, if you had this, you know what, DVD would look just fine on it. You probably would not see the difference. But if you have, you know, yourself a good 50-inch or bigger, 60, 70, God forbid you're using a projector and doing over 100, then yes, you will see a huge difference between your Blu-rays and your DVDs. And for you've spent the money on those big-ass viewings apparatus. You might as well spend $80 on a kick-ass movie. Anybody got $80? I want to get the kick-ass version. Anyways, till next time, guys. I hope my talking here, my rambling, my ranting, my giving of information, my sourcing out what's out there, what's been done, what is available now, just giving you the 411, I guess, as they say, on this whole release has helped you, whether it swayed you one way or the other. That wasn't my intention. I just wanted to look at a few of the things that have come up in comments and discussions and people's videos, etc., about this release, and see, you know, just for myself, if what they say is valid. Is it worthwhile? Is it right? And you know what? And partially, I did this video to see and try and convince myself whether should I spend the $80 or just the $25. I guess you'll find out when it comes to release time, won't you? Because I'm not telling you now. Till the next video, guys. Take care.